Hey, in today's lesson, I'm going to teach you how to speak English fluently using the simple rule of threes. Are you ready? Well then, I'm teacher Tiffany. Let's jump right in. All right, so let's take a look at the rule very quickly. The rule says this: provide enough support for your thoughts, ideas, and opinions by giving 3 details, 3 examples, or 3 reasons. Now remember, I've said before that English fluency is not about the number of words you use. Instead, it's about your ability to support your ideas. And that's what we're going to look at today. So let's look at the first one. The first one is part 1, 3 details. Now, this part of the rule focuses on the important details of the topic, subject, or person you are discussing. In other words, you want to help your listener visualize what you are talking about. Now, this is something that is so important. You see, when you're speaking to someone, you want them to be able to see in their mind what you are saying. Think about story time. When I tell you a story, you can visualize it, right? And that's something you are going to learn how to do. So let's take a look at this example. We see a family walking. So the topic could be family vacation. Tell me about your last family vacation. And the simple response could be, we went to Colorado for our last family vacation. Now, I'll be honest with you, that's a good response. But remember, we're trying to get an advanced level response. You want to speak English fluently. So in order to do that, you must give more information. 3 details. So let's go back. Here's the first detail: off the grid cabin. Detail 2, mountainous area. And detail 3, breathtaking landscape. So now with these 3 details, we can give a fluent English response. So here's the response we have right here. My family and I went to Colorado for our family vacation last year. At first, my mom was a little nervous because we chose to stay at an off-the-grid cabin. But since we stayed in a very mountainous area, my mom was satisfied with the amazing views. Honestly, we were all amazed by the breathtaking landscape when we went on a hike. Now, come on. That was an advanced level response. It showed fluency, right? Fluency. And I'm going to teach you how to do that, right? Again, following the simple rule of threes. But there's something else I want to show you. You see, in this response, there were a few words or expressions that were a little bit tricky. So first, off the grid. Good. Again, after me, off the grid. Excellent. Now, real quick, again, if you want to improve your pronunciation, download my app, English with Tiffany, and I have so many lessons in the app that help you with your pronunciation. So you can master English pronunciation. Again, download my app, English with Tiffany. The link is in the description. All right, so we're taking, again, a look at off the grid. This just means not using or depending on public utilities, especially the supply of electricity. So basically, when you're doing something and you don't have electricity, you are basically doing something off the grid. Now, this is something that I've done in the past. I was a pathfinder. It's kind of like the Boy Scouts or Girl Scouts for church. And we'd go camping and there will be no electricity. We were off the grid. Makes sense, right? All right, so off the grid. Now, what about the next one? The next one was mountainous. Good. Again, after me, mountainous. Excellent. Now, this is of a region having many, many mountains. Now, when I was in South Korea, I loved hiking. I went hiking every week. But my favorite mountain to hike was Soraksan. And I remember it was beautiful. Whenever I'd go to hike Soraksan, there were mountains everywhere. You see, Soraksan is made up of many different peaks. It was a mountainous area. Makes sense, right? All right, so we have mountainous. Again, mountainous meaning many mountains. But what about this one right here? Breathtaking. Good. Stick your tongue through your teeth. Again, breathtaking. Excellent. Now, this just means astonishing or awe-inspiring in quality, so as to take one's breath away. Now, remember I told you that I liked to hike when I was in Korea. I remember when I first went to the top of Sorak Mountain, I could not say a word. It was breathtaking. It was so beautiful. The air, the tops of the mountains, I was at a loss for words. Makes sense. Something is breathtaking. So maybe you've also seen something that's breathtaking. So again, in our response, we have all three details, and that's why this response shows an advanced level response. It is an advanced level response. But what about the other part of the rule? The rule being part 2, 3 examples. You see, the second part of this rule focuses on examples of the topic, subject, or person you are discussing. In other words, you want to help your listener understand more by giving them real life example situations. Now, this is something I purposely do for you all the time. Think about it. At the end of every lesson, I give you a story time, right? And I connect what I'm teaching you to my life. This is a part of English fluency. Again, 3 examples. So let's take a look at this one right here. We see this wonderful couple, a grandmother and a grandfather, and the topic is grandparents. So here's the question. Do you think grandchildren make grandparents happy? Simple response, yes. I think grandparents are extremely happy when they are with their grandchildren. Now, this is so true. My parents have 3 grandchildren, and my sister and I, we always laugh because my parents are totally different people when they're with the grandchildren. So yes, grandchildren really do make, well, grandchildren not only make, they provide the joy that grandparents need, all right? So looking at this response right here, it's good, but we want an advanced level response. So example number 1. My mother was very happy to babysit my niece for 2 years. Example 2. My grandmother would smile and sneak me money whenever I went to see her. And example 3. The highlight of my dad's day is when he gets to speak to his grandchildren. So you can already see that we're giving example situations, and these situations will provide a measure of curiosity. The listener is going to want to know more, and as you explain, it will show your fluency. So let's take a little closer look at what the response would look like, including these examples. Here we go. I'll show you that a little later. Yes, I think grandparents are extremely happy when they are with their grandchildren. That's the simple response. Now the 3 examples. For example, my mother was very happy to babysit my niece for 2 years. But it's not just my mother. When I was younger, my grandmother, true story, would always give me a big smile and sneak me some money. The same is true for my dad. Honestly, the highlight of my dad's day is when he gets to speak to his grandchildren. So what just happened? In that response, again, the basic response, then I gave 3 examples. You learned more about me and my family, and you understand why I gave the response I did. A fluent English response. Now, within my response, there were some new words and expressions. The first one was babysit. Again, after me, babysit. Excellent. Now, this word just refers to looking after a child or children while the parents are out. Again, taking care of the children while the parents are out. Now, my sister actually babysat some kids when we were younger. I'm younger than my sister, so when she had to babysit, I would go with her. But then when I got in high school, I also started to babysit, taking care of children in order to earn money. Money. I said money. Money, right? Again, babysitting is very common in America. So looking at babysit, the next one we have is sneak someone something. In my example story, I said my grandmother used to sneak me some money, which she actually did. But to sneak someone something, it just means to secretly give someone something. In other words, to give someone something without other people knowing. Now, I remember one time, my grandmother, we had went to a restaurant. My mother, my grandmother, and I think, no, just the three of us. And I remember we were leaving, and my grandmother said, hey, baby, come here. She did this with her hand, come here. And she snuck me a $20 bill. And I said, oh, Grandma, I don't need it. She said, baby, shh, just take it. And I remember that my grandmother passed away several years ago, but I always remember my grandmother sneaking me some money. I was an adult and she said, baby, just take this $20. Maybe your grandmother does the same thing, sneaking you some money without your family members knowing what she's doing. This is something that grandparents do. Now, what about the next one? The highlight of someone's day. After me, the highlight of someone's day. Excellent. Now, this just means the high point or the most exciting moment of someone's day, something that makes them extremely happy. Now, yesterday this happened. I actually was teaching a class to my students. Again, if you want to be one of my students, all you have to do is go to www.letsjumprightin.com. The link is in the description. And during the class, one of my students said, teacher, you know what the best thing that happened to me today was? I said, what? She said, having the opportunity to join your class. And my heart was warmed. And her comment was the highlight of my day. It made me feel so good. So during your day, you probably have things that make you feel good. You can say this thing or this event was the highlight of my day. So you see, in the response, we have, again, the three examples. You understand more about me, more about my parents, and their love for their grandchildren. And I gave a fluent English response simply by using the rule of threes. Part 2 being 3 examples. Now, what about part number 3? Part number 3 is focusing on giving specific reasons for your ideas on the topic, subject, or person you are discussing. In other words, you want to help your listener understand your thought process and how you developed your idea. And remember, I said English fluency is all about supporting your answers, not about giving 1,000 new words. It's really about supporting your answer, and part of that is giving 3 reasons. So let's take a look at this example right here. These 3 look so happy to be together. So the topic could be sibling relationships. Do you get along with your siblings? Simple response, yes, we get along very well. Now remember, I said that's a good response, but your goal is to speak like a native English speaker. You want to give an advanced level response. So you need 3 reasons. So let's jump back and see the 3 reasons that you can give. Reason number 1, our parents taught us to look out for each other. Reason number 2, we have so many inside jokes. And reason number 3, life would be meaningless without them. So now we're giving some more reasons to support our response. And this is something that's very important. Again, thinking about my sister. Yes, I think sibling relationships are very important. My sister, when we were growing up, she's 5 years older than me, and sometimes she would trick me during games so that she could win. But it's okay. I have so many good memories of my sister and I playing games together. Sibling relationships are so important. Now, again, looking at our 3 reasons, this is what our response could be. Yes, we get along very well. Growing up, our parents told us to look out for each other. So we always protected each other. We also laugh a lot because we have so many inside jokes. Honestly, my life would be meaningless without them. So what's happening? You see, the fact that I gave you 3 reasons, it emphasizes what I'm telling you. You can say, Tiffani really believes what she's saying. And that actually shows you that I'm a fluent English speaker. So giving 3 reasons to support your answer shows your English fluency. So in the response, I want to look at a few of the expressions I use. The first one was look out for someone. After me, look out for someone. Excellent, good. Last time, look out for someone. Great job. Now, this just means to take care of someone and make sure that they are treated well. Again, to look out for someone, making sure they are treated well. Now, my sister is 5 years older than me, right? But I don't have to worry about anything. Especially when I was growing up, my sister always looked out for me. She made sure that I was okay. She actually used to do my hair. She's really good at doing hair. Now, I did mine this time, and I usually do it myself now, but growing up, she looked out for me. She made sure I was okay. That's what big sisters do. All right, so looking at this one, we have look out for someone. But what about this? Inside joke. Excellent. Last time after me, inside joke. Great job. Now, inside joke, it just means a joke that is shared exclusively by a small group of people. It means that only these individuals know what is really being said. Now, one of my friends and I, we do this all the time. We have lots of inside jokes. One joke that we have with each other is about Jurassic Park. It's something that happened in the past with the movie. And now, whenever someone says Jurassic Park, we look at each other and say, Jurassic Park, huh? Again, it's a joke that only she and I know. It's an inside joke. So maybe you have an inside joke with your family members or your friends. But what about this one right here? Meaningless. Good. Again, after me. Meaningless. Excellent. Now, this just means having no meaning or significance. It's not important. It's meaningless. And many times you want to use this word when there's something that, hey, this honestly, I don't see anything important about it. It's meaningless. So looking at my response, you see that 3 examples can be, 3 reasons can be found in my response. Again, the rule of 3s. Again, we had 3 details, 3 examples, and now 3 reasons. And you can use this rule to finally sound like a native English speaker. Now remember, if you want to continue studying with me, all you have to do is go to www.letsjumprightin.com. I want to help you achieve all of your goals. You can join thousands of students from around the world. I hope you enjoyed today's lesson. Thanks so much for joining. But as always, remember to speak English. You still there? You know what time it is. It's story time. Hey, I said it's story time. All right. So today's story is about my siblings. So I have 2 older sisters, all right? Now I'm the youngest, right? And my middle sister, she's 5 years older than me, and the next sister is 9 years older than me. So growing up, I remember one time, so we were in my room. This was when I lived in Arizona, and I may have been 4 years old. So my sister above me was 9 years old, and then my other sister was above her, was 13 years old. We were all just sitting in my room playing. And I remember there was a game we liked to play, and we called it Superman, right? Superman, you know, the superhero, right? So what we'd do is one person would lay on the ground, and they'd stick their legs straight up in the air. And the other person would lie flat on the person's feet. So the feet would be like this, and you lay your body on their feet. And then the person would pump their legs. 1, 2, 3. And shoot you out into the air, and you fly like Superman. Now, think about it. Who was the person on top of the feet? You know it was me. I was the smallest. So I remember this time my sister, she laid on the ground. She said, come on, Tiff, let's do it. I said, okay, Simona, let's do it. She got on the ground, put her feet. She said, all right, Tiff, get on my feet. Again, I was about 4 years old. So I got on her feet. She said, spread your arms out, Tiff. You're about to fly. So I spread my arms out. I was ready. I was on my big sister's feet, and I said, go. She said, 1, 2, 3, and I flew through the air, and boom, I hit the wall. Now, clearly, I was okay, but the problem was there was a big hole in the wall. I hit the wall, and everything got quiet. My sisters looked at each other, then they looked at me, and I looked at them. They were like, are you okay? I said, yeah, I'm okay. And then we all looked at each other again and said, but we aren't. You see, we knew that my mom was going to get us. Now, I don't remember what happened to us. And usually when a traumatic experience happens, you try to block it out of your memory. So I'm sure we all got spankings and we got in big trouble because there was a hole in the wall. But I'll tell you this, I am almost 40 years old, and to this day, I still remember flying through the air. So sometimes getting in trouble, yes, it's bad, but when you're making good memories with your siblings, it's all worth it. All right, I hope you enjoyed today's story. I hope you also have some experiences with your siblings. Remember, if you want to keep studying with me, go to www.letsjumprightin.com. I love you, and I'll talk to you next time.